privilege to be here today to speak on a subject that lies at the heart of our individual and collective well-being, brain health. In our increasingly connected world, the health of our brains is influenced by not only medical and neurological factors, but by technology, social behaviors, economics, and culture. Today, I'd like to address a rapid emerging global phenomenon that affects all of us. I want to take you on a journey through a modern brain health challenge that quietly affects millions of lives: digital overload. First of all, let me tell you a story that might sound familiar. This is actually my personal story. I remember during the pandemic, the time when my way of teaching and working shifted drastically because we have to be in isolated world and connected only through internet and online platform. At that time, I remember having 5 Zoom meetings in one day at overlapping times. I listened to a speaker at one Zoom meeting while thinking about the topic discussing in another meeting. I got up twice to check on my kids who also have an online learning. And at the end of the day, I said to myself, I don't know what I did today, but I feel like I ran a marathon with my brain. And now I realize that I have experienced digital overload. I know it doesn't always look dramatic. It looks like overscheduling, silent stress, and the inability to shut down, even when I close the laptop. So, what is digital overload? It refers to the constant and excessive consumption of digital information. We all know that nowadays, staying online for hours, even for days, is very common. In fact, data shows that globally, adults spend over 7 hours a day online, and this number even much higher among teenagers. And if you look back at my story, having 5 meetings a day can be a sign of productivity, but online platform that was an aid to productivity and connection back then has now become a source of chronic cognitive stress for our brains. Our brains, evolved for deep focus, human interaction, and rest, are now subjected to rapid fire notification, fragmented attention spans, and 24 hours and 7 days engagement that cause mental exhaustion. Although technology itself is not the enemy, but it seems that our relationship with it has turned into an ongoing brain health challenge. Now, let's take a look further at this phenomenon. Starts with the cause. Digital overload is actually driven by several interconnected causes. The first is, of course, the technology innovation. The app and device designers mostly optimize for engagement instead of the well-being of the users. And the algorithms rewards attention over reflection. So the post in social media and the algorithm itself will bombard the users with so many typically relevant and interesting information that make them want to continue scrolling and do not have time to stop, to really think of it or even reflect it. That's how it works. It keeps us online. The second is cultural shifts. I don't know why, but being always online is now seen as a sign of commitment, responsiveness, and even success. And it's now common to discuss work even outside the working hours via online connections. While we initially felt like our work hours were becoming more flexible, we're now trapped in a perpetual work environment with unclear boundaries. The third is pandemic. This is the third cause, but the most significant. We know previously pandemic has shifted our way of connect drastically. We all know that COVID-19 really intensified our reliance on digital tools for work, education, healthcare, and social life. And the last is the lack of digital health education. Despite the rapid growth in the use of technology and the online platforms, there is very little public health education related to technology use. In fact, many people are unprepared to recognize or manage the mental stress caused by constant social media use or online connectivity. So that's how digital overload can happen. Now, what is the impact of this phenomenon? Its impact on brain health are both subtle and significant, and it causes cognitive fatigue because constant multitasking, it can reduce our memory retention, attention span, and our decision-making capacity. It also causes sleep disruption. When blue light exposures from screens, it delays melatonin production and it contributes to sleep disorders. It also affects our mental health because research proved that overuse of social media has been linked to rising levels of anxiety, depression, and loneliness among adolescents. Also, recent studies show that remote workers and students are facing higher level of burnout. And about this, let me share another experience. During the height of remote works, I noticed myself becoming more irritable, anxious, and disconnected. Even though I was connected all day long, my sleep was poor, my creativity disappeared, I was surviving, not thriving. I feel like I did so many things, but I hadn't finished anything. And I even lose weight, and I don't know why. It wasn't until I had a truly relaxing weekend, no email, no text, no scrolling, that I felt my brain finally breathe. And it struck me. Many of us feel this way, but we rarely talk about it. Now, how do we address this modern epidemic? We must act across three pillars: innovation, prevention, and care. We need to innovate on brand-friendly technologies that promote mindful usage, scheduled breaks, and content moderations. We also need to promote digital literacy for preventions. Children and adults, they must learn about healthy screen habits. And we also need to provide care from interdisciplinary teams, from nurses, from neurological, from the tech designer for digital related cognitive and emotional issues such as tech addiction, digital eye strain, and Zoom fatigue. And as individuals, we can set tech boundaries like screen-free zones, priority sleep, movement, and face-to-face interaction over online connection, speak openly about stress and seek support, take a small break, 5 minutes away from the screen every hour. That could be best for us. Alright, in conclusion, digital overload is not merely a lifestyle issue, it is a global brain health challenge with deep implications for cognition, mental health, and community well-being. It requires more than willpower, it demands interdisciplinary thinking, responsible innovation, and a collective commitment to prevention and care. Now, as we continue to reimagine the future of our brain health, let us remember, technology should serve the brain, not dominate it. Maybe the biggest innovation in brain health today is not a new app or wearable device. Maybe it's just being able to say, I'm logging off early today, my brain needs a break. In a world that moves fast, caring for our minds and each other is one of the most powerful revolutionary things we can do. I am Mira Utameningsi. Thank you and bye-bye.